All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar, and on down to rule well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hope for the elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson, a short and transit lesson. How alone the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video, this was a test run. All right. And Lord Wills, brothers can see on the screen, I have this article here from the Wal News, I guess that's how you pronounce it. And it says a person found dead in Moore County at the power grid attack. All right. I'm pretty sure all the brothers out there are aware of the situation that happened in North Carolina, where they're saying somebody shot up the power grid. And it was without electricity, which I believe it was for 3 days, which if that's the spirit, if it wasn't 3 days, because when you read Exodus the 10th chapter, and I got that lined up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I believe it said it was darkness over the land of Egypt for 3 days. So I believe that it was 3 days. I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure on that if it was exactly 3 days. Because I don't know if they got, I know certain articles saying that the power is back up, but then certain of them are saying that they're still down in certain areas in those parts of North Carolina, in Moore County or whatever, the place in North Carolina. Yeah, but this was a test run, man. I believe this was a test run. All right, because the whole situation they're saying makes no sense. Somebody just came and just shut up the power grid. All right, and it took them some time to fix it, and if it's even fixed, because again, some articles are saying it's fixed and some saying that it ain't fixed. You had a person died. He died because I think the temperature there was like 44, 35 degrees, and he didn't have any power, and they found the guy dead in his house. The person dead in their house. All right, that dark winter that Biden and Trump and all these other dudes were speaking about. Basically, pretty much saying like they've been speaking heavily so like about the power grid and their strain on the power grid, and certain places are cutting the power early, and blackouts and outages and things like that are going to happen later on somewhere down the road. What Biden and them has been warned about and blaming it on this global warming thing or whatever. But yeah, man, I believe this was a test run. All right, I believe this was a test run to see how people will react, see how people, because I believe this is going to happen again, and I believe at some point, like people have been saying, speaking about an EMP, an electronic magnetic pulse, an electrical magnetic pulse, where all the power goes out. All right, and the scriptures speak about, which I brought this out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai many times. When you read 2nd Ezra 15th chapter, the Lord said he was going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. And one of the plagues the Lord brought over ancient Egypt was darkness over the land. And you speed that up in today's time, what would that be? The power grid going out. The grid is going down. All right? And a lot of people, as you can see, I think it was like 2 or 3 days, this person died in his house. They died in their house because they didn't have any heat. They froze to death in their home. All right, so if the power grid goes out in America, let's say a week, 3 weeks, and certain places get super cold, man. Like up north in the Midwest. Even heat, you can die from heat. A heat stroke, you can have a heat stroke and die. All right, places where it gets real hot, there's no air conditioning. All right, so on and so forth. All right, so, a hospital, the grids go down, say it's an attack on the hospital's grid and different hospitals' grid, and the generators fail or whatever, and people die in the hospital. People in nursing homes. If the power grid goes down, all right, things can get ugly quick, as you saw, is perfect example right here with this situation right here. All right, and again, they've been speaking about all this strain on the power grid, and cyber attacks is the other word I was looking for. Cyber attacks, where they attacked it was a foreign country or foreign outfit or some terrorist organization attacks the power grid, and all the power goes down. Esau has been speaking heavy about this. All right, and again, there's always been that talk of a EMP attack over America. All right, so matter of fact, let's get sick, and there's just 15 first. So again, if the Lord does do this, allows that to happen, when the power grid goes out all throughout Babylon, things get ugly super quick. All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 11. But I will bring with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm and smite Egypt. And this is talking about ancient. This is talking about the new Egypt, which is America. All right, smite Egypt with plagues as before. Right, the ancient plagues that the Lord smote ancient Egypt with. Some of the plagues that He smote ancient Egypt with. All right, like the crops dying. You know, that's a plague that the Most High ruined their crops by sending locusts and things like that. All right, and the Most High destroyed a lot of the crops here in America by way of drought and all of that. All right. Stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Right. The Lord didn't destroy ancient Egypt. The land of ancient Egypt is still there. All right. But the Lord is going to destroy the new spiritual Egypt, which is America. All right. So, yeah, man. You know, I believe again this was a test run. All right. I believe this was a test run. And you had a person die from it. And I don't, like I said, there's some articles that saying that the power is back on, but some saying that it ain't back on. So people are freezing to death in their homes. In North Carolina, it gets pretty cold too. That's one of the states where it gets pretty cold in the south. All right. This is Exodus chapter 10, verse 21. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch thy hand towards heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, and even darkness that may be felt. Right. So the Lord smote Egypt with a thick darkness. And in today's time, if the Lord, you know, allows a cyber attack to happen to destroy the grid, or an EMP attack or something to destroy the grid, that would knock all the power out in Babylon. And you're going to have people freezing to death, starving to death, because the food is spoiled. All right? Grocery stores won't be able to do transactions, you know, so on and so forth. All right, because behind that, they could destroy all the generators and stuff like that as well. Because that was sabotage. That was set up, the thing in North Carolina, I believe. All right. Maybe it's just some crazy guys out there that just shot up the grid. Who knows? But darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt, right? A thick darkness. So imagine all the street lights out, all the lights in the home, just like in that place in North Carolina, Moore County in North Carolina. No street lights, no house lights. All right, no heat. No heat. No nothing. All right, the EMP, the cars don't work. An EMP attack would shut down cars too. All right. Verse 22. And Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. And again, I believe, I'm not 100% positive on that, but if they do got the power back on, that's the spirit, because it was over the Lord put darkness over ancient Egypt for 3 days, and I believe that the power grid stayed down for like 3 days in North Carolina. If it's not back up, if it's still not up, then it's more than 3 days. But I think that happened. Well, the first I heard of it was, or it could be more, longer than that. But the first I heard of it was like 4 days. Because to be honest, I really didn't pay that much attention to it until I saw that somebody died in there. I figured, they'll just get it back up. It's something Esau just putting out there. But then, somebody died, and I believe, I started, through the spirit, I started thinking, that was a test run for something to come. And again, I believe it's going to happen again. And they saw no one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And spiritually, who's the only ones with the light is the elect. And the Lord's going to make sure his elect is good. Going to make sure they eat, going to make sure they're warm, going to make sure, they're straight. But the rest of our people and all the heathens in the land, they're going to suffer, all right? They're going to suffer. Like if there was any brothers in that area of North Carolina, I know it's brothers in North Carolina, but I'm not sure if it's brothers in that part, or any believers there. The Lord spared them. I believe the Lord spared them. If, they did have to pass on, they stayed stay faithful to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, you know, they'll come right back, you know. But, you know, hey, the Lord's going to look out for his elect in these dark times. But dark days are coming. Dark days are coming, man. And again, I believe, again, this was a test run. Again, person found dead in Moore County after power grid attack. They shut down the power, everything stops. Everything stops. If it's an EMP, everything definitely stops. Truck stop, the truck stop, car stop, no electricity, no groceries, everything stops. Alright, so again, I believe this was a test run. And I believe, again, Esau, if the Lord put the spirit on Esau, could do it again. Because, again, the fact that they've been talking about cyber attacks on the power grid and EMP attacks and all this stuff heavy, they've been talking about it. I think even Biden was talking about it. And his administration was talking about it. That's what I think of Klaus Schwab. He said something about it. He said something about people don't pay no attention to terrorist attack on the power grid. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention to it. Klaus Schwab said that. The leader of the World Economic Forum, all right, or one of the chairmen of the World Economic Forum. All right, so with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Kodash, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you brothers, pushing this truth and sincerity. With that, I'm saying shalom.